Hi guys, Tech here, and I wanted to go over something that is a little tankier version of the Stormbrand Guardian. I will put a separate POB for this one, but I'm not going to include it into the Stormbrand Guardian or stacking build as it's kind of a different thing. If you would be so kind to give me a like and consider subscribing, it really does help the channel grow and I genuinely appreciate it. To kind of get started here, so what we're using is a not super complex interaction, but a very new interaction. So we are using the Divine Shield Notable with Aegis Aurora, and it gives you a you won't die by death from 1,000 paper cuts anymore. It gives you basically prevention from little hits. Combining that with a high block chance. So we're always at 41 spell, and then we'll go from 40 to 75 base block, attack block. With these two combined with Aegis, essentially about half the hits we aren't taking. And if you wanted to change things up a little bit, you could absolutely get out of this node, Bastion of Hope, and you could get into Time of Need, which would give you the curse prevention. If you go that route, you'd want to pick up Glancing Blows, and you could just path over here for it. Would probably be the quickest and give you the most for it, because this is both 5% energy shield and 10% armor, which is really good for this. But we're really focusing on these two keystones, the defending and the armor on the energy shield. So my helmet is giving me 327 energy shield and 327 armor, armor. Then Aegis is giving us 8,000 armor, and I can't believe I forgot to armor scrap this thing. Let's do that real quick, and it should be around 10,000. Yeah, and significantly more energy shield. So we're using this interaction coupled with our charge generation. I did pick up these nodes and this node because we got more power charges and endurance charges in this particular version of the build. So it gives us a little more chonkiness. To give you an idea, probably T10, I can probably just AFK in. So let's grab a T10. Just a generic white T10, just to kind of show you the mechanical interaction and kind of explain it a little bit more, in case this is something you're interested in. This won't be for everybody, but this is for people that really do not want to die. And you can see, essentially, that they'll hit me down a little bit, and then I'll shoot right back up. And I can essentially AFK this. Now, in most scenarios, you aren't going to want to do this. Do I have... Oh, hold on. Hold on. Hold the phone. There we go. There's our Tempest Shield. So, Tempest Shield is very, very important for the way that Tempest Shield used to work for this kind of playstyle. And I guess I just forgot to turn it back on, which is unfortunate. When you're blocking this much and you're scaling lightning damage, turns out Tempest Shield's really good because it'll still freeze stuff because of the way we're scaling. Excuse me. So, without casting a brand, you can kind of kill stuff. Then if you cast brands, like, you really kill stuff, right? The mechanical interaction on this one is going to be way more in depth, but it's okay. It's kind of an easy to explain thing. Essentially, how it works is the higher your armor scaling is, the more energy shield recovery you get between the two. And then when you don't block something, because blocking does not constitute a hit, but it does constitute prevention. So we're getting kind of like a double dip here. The other thing is, because we're Guardian, we get a lot of natural physical damage mitigation, which is fantastic. It really helps us out to be able to do this. Again, this isn't for if you want the most damaging build possible. This is if you want a bosser and you don't mind really getting a lot of scaling from gear and tree investment for your defenses, as you need to do basically scale two different defenses. You want to scale armor as well as energy shield. And the most effective way to do that is by Templar start, and that's this node and this node. Those are the two best basically defensive scalers for us on the entire tree. Everything else basically essentially is going to scale one or the other, not both, unfortunately. So it probably would behoove us to finish out both of those wheels. I'm just not at the point where I have enough skill points to... I don't have enough skill points, and I haven't done all the math to figure out the optimal way of kind of continuing forward as far as to get us to energy shield numbers that I would be much more confident in us having. So normally I try to hit, for something like this that's going to have more defensive layers, I try to get in the 7,000 to 8,000 ES range. If it has less layers, I try to... This is another thing. Degens, we don't really have a way of preventing, so they still hurt. Something to be mindful of. That's what killed me on the Mud Geyser, was a degen. But it's nice, because little hits we can deal with. Degens not so much, but degens for the most part are able to be avoided. I am running Corrupted Blood immunity. Alright, cool. But I just wanted to kind of give y'all an alternative for what could possibly be, and a little bit different look here. So kind of just to very briefly go over the skill tree, you'll see we're still getting aura stuff on these two. We still got our crit stuff. I did pick up these in this just to give us a little bit more. We still have all three brand nodes and the endurance charges. Kind of from here, we can do a couple of different things. So one option would be to come in here and get Milding Wheel. Another option would be to pet down and get Foresight. Another option would be to just start filling out those two guys, these guys, and this guy. These are more efficient than this, so I'm probably going to just grab that guy. I think that's a good temporary solution. And so, but we do need to try to find some flat ES scaling somewhere. Another way we can get flat is off this guy right here, because the more we pump up our mana, the more that we reserve of our mana, which means the more flat ES we get. So this is also a very, very good cluster node, or node, I guess I should say. to pick up. If you're wanting more damage and you're okay with this level of survivability, you could come down here and get Annihilation. And you could even get Domination. Also, Nimbleness is really, really good. This node is really good. There's one more over here that's pretty good. I thought there was one more. No. Oh, this Crackling Speed is also really good. Because it gives us cast speed and just pure lightning damage. The other thing you can do to scale up is just come right through here, get cold damage, freeze chance, cold damage, freeze chance, and then Breath of Rhyme. All that is very, very solid. And then you can get a second cold mastery. If you decide to do this, I would highly recommend going for the freeze duration on enemies, as it makes it where bosses really stay frozen. And it really, really helps. Also, cold exposure is also very, very, very good. Because we are, in fact, hitting cold exposure. So either of those two, very, very solid. But I hope this helps. If you have any questions, feel free to leave comments down below. And I will be happy to get with them just as soon as I can. Alright guys, have a great one, and I hope to see you in Scourge.